This tutorial is for 2nd grade, Module 3, Lesson 12. In this lesson, we're going to count on a place value chart using larger numbers. And we're going to make note of when we're counting on that chart, we are able to compose smaller units to create a larger unit. I'll use the place value chart to show you what I mean here. I have a place value chart, and I'm going to start by showing the number 582. That means I need 5 discs in my hundreds place, 8 discs in my tens place for the 80, and 2 discs in my ones place for the 2. So I have 582. I'm going to count by 1 and place the discs on the place value chart as I count. So I'm at 582, 583, 584, 585, 586, 587, 588, 589, 590. Now when I reach 590, I have 10 discs in my ones column. Well, if we have 10 or more discs in any particular column, we can compose those discs and exchange them for a greater place value. So I'm going to take these 10 ones and I'm going to compose them into one group of 10 and move them to my tens column. So those are gone. I'm still at the number 590 because I have 5 hundreds and 9 tens. So when the question asks, did we make a larger unit at 590, we would say yes. We changed 10 of our ones into 110. So I'll circle that 110. Now let's go back to our place value chart. I left off at 590, so I'll continue counting. 591, 592, 593, 594, 595, 596, 597, 598, 599, 600. When I reach the 600, I again have 10 discs in my ones column. So I will compose those and move those over to my tens column. And when I do that, I now have 10 tens in my tens column. That means I can take all of those and compose my 10 tens into a group of 100. And if you remember, the last number I said when I counted was 600, and you can see I have 6 discs in my hundreds place and no discs in my tens or ones place. So in that case, when I reached the 600, I changed 10 ones into 110, and I also changed 10 tens into 100. So I did 2 changes when I reached my 600. Now we'll keep going on the place value chart and show what happens when we reach the number 618, 640, 652, or 700. Well, this is what the chart would look like when I reached 618. I have 6 hundreds, 110, and 8 ones. At this point, I cannot do any grouping or compositions to trade in these units. In fact, in order to reach the next point where I need to trade in, I would need 2 more ones. So we'll show that on the chart, that we need 2 more ones to make another grouping of 10 ones and trade it in for 110. So on my chart, I will not circle 110 or 100 because at the number 618, I did not do any grouping or compositions. In order to change, I still need 2 more ones on my place value chart. Now let's see what happens when we hit the number 640. This is what my place value chart would look like when I first hit 640. I have 6 hundreds, 3 tens, and 10 ones. So I'll take those 10 ones, move them over and change them into a group of 110. Here's my 640. So I did change my ones into tens. So we'll show that on our chart as well. When I reached my 640, I took 10 ones and traded those in for 110. Now let's see what happens when we hit 652. This is what 652 looks like on the place value chart. I do not have any groups of tens that I can trade in. In fact, I still need 8 discs in my ones column in order to trade those in for 110. So we'll mark that on our chart that we still need 8 more discs in order to make that composition of 110. So when I reached the number 652, I needed 8 more ones in order to make any sort of trade. And finally, we'll see what happens when we reach the number 700. Well, this is the number 699. When I add one more disc, I get 700. That gives me a group of 10 that I can compose for 110's disc. So I'll move that over and put my 10's disc in place. Now those are gone. When I do that, that also gives me a group of 10 10s. So I can take those 10 10s and move those over as a group of 100. Now you can see I have my 700. These are gone. They became 100. So I have 7 discs in my hundreds place. So in this case, I changed 10 ones into a group of 10, and I changed 10 10s into a group of 100. So we'll show that final step on our chart. I was able to make one group of 10 from 10 ones, and I was able to make one group of 100 from 10 10s. So you can see how our place value chart changes as we count bigger numbers using place value discs.